Have you noticed the adorable fabric that Dollar Tree has lately? Hey besties, this is Lisa. Welcome or welcome back. If you want to craft your best life with me, let's get started right now. For this Dollar Tree fabric hack, I've got this burlap fabric with flowers, and then I've got these hoops from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to use the larger of the two and trace around it, not about 3/4 of an inch around it. And then I will cut that out. Now I will tell you this would have been much easier to cut had I pressed it first, but I did that after. Now I'm going to take the circle that I did cut out and I'm going to cut another half circle, but first I'll trace the half circle out using the original one, and then of course I'll cut it, and you'll see here again it would have been easier if I'd pressed this first, but I just wasn't thinking about that at the time. I was just anxious to get started and make this project. Before I forget, I'm going to add my hanger. I'm just going to take a small piece of jute, do a lark's head knot where you put a loop over the top and pull the other two pieces through, and then I just tie a knot at the top and trim off any excess. So that's done and out of the way. Now I'm just going to iron this. You can use any iron you want. I just happen to use a little mini press iron. I'm going to take the half circle and I'm going to glue it over the top so both of the right sides up. Now I've got this beautiful burlap ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to cut a piece to go across the top. But first I'm going to put my little silicone mat inside so I don't glue the two pieces together, just the ribbon on top of that top half circle piece. I hope that makes sense. Otherwise the glue would seep right through the burlap and it would seal shut my little pocket that I don't want to have sealed shut. Now I'm just going to wrap the excess ribbon around the back and tack it down with some hot glue. So now I've got my pocket, and I'm going to start gluing from the underneath up to the top of the little hoop, and I go back and forth turning it over both sides, and I'm just going to keep pressing that hot glue in there because I want this to go inside. Now if you had the kind of embroidery hoop that had two pieces, you wouldn't have to do this at all, but I didn't, so I'm making this work with what I have. There it is, all glued. Now on the top, it wasn't completely, as secure as I wanted, so I added some Beacon Fabric Tack glue around the whole front of that. Now I'm just going to trim off any excess. Now I've got a beautiful yellow flower and some greenery, and I'm going to put the greenery on first on the right side. This is just a little embellishment because I thought it would be really pretty with the yellow centers of the other flowers. So I put that on, and then I added a little white flower right to the center just to kind of coordinate the colors. And I thought it needed something else, so I added a cute little yellow button. I think this one turned out adorable. It might be my favorite today. I hope you like it. You'll have to let me know if it was yours too. For this Dollar Tree fabric hack, I've got this gorgeous farmhouse-like fabric that I just love with little farm animals. And then I've got an old spice container that I saved. I'm just going to press my fabric and then wrap it around to see just how much I need, and then I will cut a piece out. Now that I have the piece cut, I'm going to use Mod Podge. I'm going to start one side at a time, and just on the flatter side, not up on the top, I'm going to start attaching the fabric. Now I know there's excess at the bottom. That's okay. We'll trim that off later. And then I'll use my brayer to go over the top and of each of the four sides as I apply it. And I'll just do one side at a time. That way I don't get any wrinkles, and I can make sure it lays very flat. Now I've got all four sides attached, and I'm going to start trimming. So first I'll just do a basic trim, and then I'll go in and be a little bit more detailed and get off, a little more of that excess. It doesn't have to be perfect because we are going to use Mod Podge to attach the rest of this. And I'm also going to do the same thing on the top, but I am going to cut 4 slits in the corners to help me find a way to pull that to the side so I can actually snip it off. And that actually worked very well. Now I'll start with the bottom, and I'll attach those little rough edges with the Mod Podge, and I'll do the exact same thing to the top. Now once I've dried that part, I will then do the entire center part with the Mod Podge. I want to seal this whole thing. That'll help make it waterproof too. Now I've got this beautiful farmhouse ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to cut a piece and wrap it all the way around the rim of this little spice jar. When I get to the end, I'll just attach it and cut off any excess. Now I'm going to make a cute little awareness bow. So I'm just going to, create the awareness and pull down the center there. And I use a little bit of hot glue to hold those pieces in place while I'm trying to finish the bow. For me, I just find that to be easier. Now I'm going to take the ends, fold them together, and then from the bottom up, cut a little triangle to create my little dovetails. Now I'm just going to attach that right to the center and put a little black button there to finish it off. I think this turned out adorable. You could put whatever you want in it. You could even take the lid off and put flowers or greenery in it. I just think it's beautiful. Let me know what you think. For this Dollar Tree fabric hack, I got this gorgeous pineapple fabric, and then I've got a Bible I have. It's a paperback, and it sure has gotten worn over the years. So I thought, why don't I make a cute little book cover for it using the fabric? Do you remember making book covers back in school? I don't know if they still do this, but back in the 60s and 70s, we had to use paper bags and make our own book covers. Let me know if you remember doing that. I actually used to kind of look forward to doing that. I thought it was fun. Anyway, I'm going to do this exactly how we used to do that. I'm going to cut a piece that will cover both sides and a little excess. Then I'm going to fold down the top to meet the size of the book, and I'm going to do that to the bottom as well. I'm going to tack it down with some glue. I'm using hot glue because it'll dry really fast, and I'm not making it clumpy. I'm just putting a very little bit on there. Now I'm just making sure it's the right size all the way across. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold the book over, stick the two ends into the front cover, just like we used to do with our paper bags. And then I will close the book, and then I will tack down the top to the little folded over part. Once I have that done, I will turn the book over and do the exact same thing to the back cover. And add extra glue, trim off any stray pieces, and any other places that need to have a little more security, I will tack down with a little bit of glue. Now I've got this beautiful lace ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to cut a piece, and on the inside front cover, I'm going to hot glue that ribbon, but I'm going to leave a whole bunch. I'm going to pull it to the very furthest point of the book and then wrap it around and leave a piece, and that becomes our bookmark. Now I know it'll fit for the whole Bible, and that way it'll just work perfectly. And then I'm going to add one more little piece of that lace ribbon to the back because I thought it just looked better to have that end finished as well. Now I want to add one more piece because I love this lace ribbon. I'm going to put it kind of around the center of the book cover and just tuck it around the inside of the cover, hot glue it all the way, and, just secure that last piece on the inside. And this just kind of ties it all together. It's very simple. I wasn't going for anything fancy. I wanted to protect that cover because it's going to rip off eventually if I don't do something. And I thought, what a cute way to do this with the Dollar Tree fabric. I love how it turned out, and I love that it's practical too. Let me know if this is something you would try. For this Dollar Tree fabric hack, I've got that pineapple fabric, which is so cute, and I've got this little triangle piece from the Dollar Tree that had a succulent in it. So I just pulled off the succulent, pulled out the little nail that was holding it, and I cut a little piece of foam, like floral foam, and I just it's a very thin one, and I'm going to hot glue it to the very bottom inside of the triangle. I wanted that there on purpose because we're making a pin cushion. I'm going to use this Amy Howard at Home kind of off-white paint. I'm going to paint the whole thing, and then I'm going to cut a triangle piece that's a little bit larger than what I need and kind of measure that so that I have enough to tuck it in and glue it. I also, up in the right side, have some batting, like pillow stuffing, that we're going to use also for this pin cushion. So we'll start by hot gluing the piece of fabric to the inside. I end up switching to Beacon Fabric Tack Glue because it was easier to work with and it didn't dry quite as fast, and I needed a little more time for shaping this one. So now I'm going to add in my batting, and I'm going to start gluing with a combination of the hot glue and the Beacon Fabric Tack Glue. I found that ended up being the best combination in the end. And I'm just going to start attaching that to the inside. Now this was a little tricky, so I ended up using a little pokey tool that I have to kind of make sure I don't fold it in on itself too much, if that makes sense. I was trying to get like kind of those perfect rounded sides, which was very hard to do in a triangle shape. Not sure why I picked a triangle, but it's something I had on hand. So if you do this, maybe you'll want to do a circle or a square. So now I've got 2 sides done and I'm just working on the last one. And I think I have a little excess fabric there, so I am going to trim some of that off. I didn't realize how much I was going to end up with. You know, it was all kind of trial and error. And there's the pokey tool where I'm kind of pulling up the pieces that were falling in, and then I will secure the whole thing around the triangle with some more beacon tap fabric glue when this is all done, just to make sure it's nice and secure. I think this is turning out adorable. I love that fabric, especially with the little white frame around it. And I'm just playing with this to get it just to the way I want it. It was a lot of trial and error, but I think it was definitely worth it in the end because it's working so well as a pincushion. And then just the final securing with the extra fabric tack glue. I'm going to cover all the paint with Mod Podge just to seal it in, and that's it. I love this one. There it is with the pins in it, and they stick perfectly. That little bit of floral foam was just the right thing to add. Let me know if you would try this. Ready for more inspiration? Here's another video I think you'll really like. If you click on it, I will see you there. You are truly a blessing to me. Bye!